The data released on May 9 shows that the number of initial jobless claims in the United States reached 231,000, marking a new high since the week of August 26, 2023. This indicates that the U.S. job market is showing signs of fatigue. Additionally, the non-farm payroll data released last week revealed that in April, non-farm employment increased by 175,000, which is below the expected 240,000 and represents the smallest increase in 6 months. The unemployment rate unexpectedly rose to 3.9%, and the year-over-year wage growth decreased from the expected 4% to 3.9%, with month-to-month growth also below expectations. These signs suggest that the previously robust labor market is gradually showing signs of weariness, and the market appears to be following the first and second paths described by Powell. The disappointing job data has directly impacted market expectations for the Federal Reserve's policy direction. Following the employment data, the yield on 10-year Treasury notes also experienced a significant decline. The market has strengthened its expectations for the Fed's first rate cut from November to September, with the probability of a rate cut in September now nearing 70%. This is undoubtedly a positive signal. Next, the market's focus will shift to the CPI data to be released next week. If the CPI growth is lower than expected, this will further support the possibility of a rate cut, thereby delivering a significant stimulus to the market. Moreover, a report from Standard Chartered Bank indicated that stubborn inflation in the first quarter was largely due to abnormal growth in housing costs. For the second quarter, a significant drop in housing costs is forecasted, which could lead to a decrease in core inflation, providing more room for a rate cut. At last week's interest rate meeting, Powell outlined 2 paths to a rate cut, one of which is disappointing employment data. This condition now appears to have been met, and the market has responded accordingly. The other path involves easing inflation, with CPI data showing a decrease. As of March, CPI had increased month-over-month for 5 consecutive months. If next week's data can halt the continuous rise in inflation, it would mean that both of the Fed's conditions for a rate cut have been met, thus clearing the way for an earlier rate cut. Regarding inflation, Standard Chartered's chief FX strategist, using regression analysis, predicts that the housing inflation indicator, OER, will drop sharply in the coming months, further driving core inflation downward. If the CPI data indeed shows a decline, this will be a major positive for the market, potentially even leading to an earlier rate cut by the Fed than currently anticipated by the market. Let's wait and see what happens.